So, is artificial intelligence this job destroying tidal wave that's about to completely remake our world? Or is it the spark for a totally new, maybe even better way of working? That's the huge question we're tackling today. We're going to dig into the fears, the facts, and the surprising data to figure out if this is a disaster in the making or a whole new beginning. Okay, let's get right into it.
Our story really kicks off with this deep, almost gut level anxiety. It's this fear that AI isn't just another tech tool, you know? It's a force of nature about to just crash down on the global job market. And look, this isn't just some sci fi talk. The warnings are coming from the very top.
I mean, that's a pretty stark warning, right? From the head of the International Monetary Fund at Davos, no less. She really didn't mince words. A tsunami. It just perfectly captures that feeling of an overwhelming, uncontrollable force that a lot of people feel is heading right for them.
Now, what's really wild about this slide is just the sheer scale of that wave. We're talking about 40% of all jobs worldwide. Think about that for a second. That's not just a statistic. That could be your job, your neighbor's job, your kids' future careers. All of it is about to be reshaped by this technology.
And this shows us that the tsunami isn't going to hit every shore with the same force. In the advanced economies, a staggering 60% of jobs are right there on the front line, facing either total disruption or a serious shakeup. In emerging markets, the picture's a little more complicated, but believe me, the wave is coming for them too. And this isn't just some abstract forecast from economists. You have leaders in the heart of the corporate world, people like Jamie Dimon, being completely direct about it. He didn't say maybe, he didn't say it's complicated. He just said yes, point blank. In the short term, jobs are going to be lost. And you know what? This isn't some far-off future we're talking about. We're already seeing the first waves hit. Just look at this data on entry-level jobs, that first rung on the career ladder for so many young people. A nearly 30% drop in just 2 years. That's a crisis in the making for an entire generation just trying to get their start. So this brings us to a really crucial idea, this concept of a rising cognitive waterline. Okay, picture the job market as a coastline, right? For decades, the shallow end was where young people learned the ropes, got their feet wet professionally. Well, now AI is raising the sea level, and those shallow waters, they're disappearing, leaving this steep, sudden drop-off into really deep, turbulent seas. All right, let's move into our second act because this story is not just about destruction. While one part of the market is, bracing for impact, another part is going through this massive, totally unprecedented transformation. So despite all those scary forecasts, the data from a platform like LinkedIn starts to paint a very different picture. Their analysis suggests the labor market isn't just shrinking, it's rotating, it's shifting, it's morphing into something completely new. And here's the proof in the pudding. Over 1.3 million brand new AI-enabled jobs have been created in just the last 2 years. I mean, these are roles that literally did not exist before this all started. Jobs like training AIs, managing AI systems, and creating with AI. This is what people are starting to call the new collar era. Demand is shifting away from those routine white-collar tasks and moving toward roles that blend tech skills with uniquely human abilities. Think of an AI integrator who helps a hospital roll out a new diagnostic tool, or a data center technician who literally keeps the physical heart of the AI revolution beating. And check this out, because here's a twist I bet you didn't see coming. This boom isn't just for software coders. Building the physical backbone for AI, the data centers, the energy grids, it's creating a full-on renaissance for skilled trades. We're talking about electricians and technicians pulling in six-figure salaries because their skills are just in such insane demand. All of this disruption is also lighting a fire under entrepreneurship. It makes sense, right? With traditional career paths looking less and less certain, and with new AI tools making it easier than ever to start a business, people are just building their own opportunities. We've seen a 60% jump in people calling themselves founders on LinkedIn. But, and this is a big but, this incredible, super fast rotation creates a new, massive challenge. It's this fundamental paradox. We have the workforce of yesterday, but we desperately need the workforce of tomorrow. This, my friends, is the great mismatch. Just look at these numbers. They're kind of mind-bending. 90% of business leaders are saying they have about 20% too many people for yesterday's jobs. But at the exact same time, 94% of those same leaders are facing critical shortages in the AI skills they need to even compete. How does that even work?
And part of the problem is that companies are using AI like a band-aid. They're automating specific tasks, like, say, writing basic reports, just to cut costs. But they're not fundamentally rethinking the actual job of an analyst. And that means they're not developing the next generation of strategic thinkers, which creates that leadership vacuum we talked about earlier.
So the crucial point, as economist Geeta Gopinath puts it so well, is that this isn't some simple training gap you can fix with a few online courses. No, this is a deep structural misalignment between our entire education system, our corporate training, and what the new economy actually needs. Okay, so this brings us to the final and honestly the most important act. If the old system is breaking down, how do we become the architects of the new one? How do we solve this massive mismatch? Well, the consensus from the leaders at Davos is that the answer lies in moving beyond just being a user of AI tools. To really thrive, we have to understand this new industrial revolution from the ground up, from the power plants all the way to the code. And you can think of it as this 5-layer stack. It all starts with energy, that massive power demand creating that boom for skilled trades. Then you've got the chips, the specialized hardware at the center of a new global competition. After that, infrastructure, the data centers that are basically the new factories. Then on top of that, you have the AI models, and finally, the apps we all use. If you understand this stack, you understand the new map of the global economy. But this is where it gets really interesting. The smartest economies are adding a 6th layer on top of all that tech, user readiness. But it's more than that, it's societal readiness. I mean, look at the tiny island of Anguilla. The sales of its .ai domain name, digital real estate, now fund nearly half its government budget. It's this accidental, real-world experiment that proves how digital infrastructure can fund an entire society, like a totally unplanned universal basic income. So that suggests a whole new, no-regret strategy. It's not just about redesigning jobs anymore. It's about designing the digital highways and guardrails for an entirely new kind of workforce. Why? Because pretty soon, AI agents are going to outnumber humans, maybe exponentially. And they're going to need digital IDs, trust systems, their own corner of the internet to work. The people who build that infrastructure will be the ones who shape the future.
I absolutely love this quote from Accenture's CEO. The goal is not to have a human in the loop, just someone checking a box on an automated process. The real goal is a human in the lead, designing the systems, asking the tough questions, and steering this incredible technology with purpose and with judgment.
Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. The next workforce is literally being built in code as we speak. These AI agents, they're going to be our colleagues. And as their architects, we have a chance to use the digital real estate they'll need, those domain names, those IDs, to fund a world where, like leaders from Elon Musk to Bill Gates have predicted, work could become optional. We can make sure the tsunami of wealth that AI creates actually lifts all boats. The question is no longer if this is happening, but what kind of world we will choose to build with.